if you're not helping people in some way, then you don't have a business model anyway.
Okay, Dragon's Den.
We got absolutely slaughtered, hammered.
Do you remember going up the lift and...
There is no lift.
Yeah, well, it's...
Especially for women that do suffer from confidence issues, imposter syndrome, is to focus on something that's bigger than you.
It's a hard lesson to learn. When are you going to learn it?
I don't think I am. There's no hope.
Welcome to the Action Coach podcast. Action Coach is the world #1 in business coaching.
Since 1993, we've helped thousands of business owners and entrepreneurs worldwide smash through their limits and achieve extraordinary results. This is more than a podcast, it's your blueprint for success. So grab a pen and paper, take notes, and make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell for weekly growth insights. Let's do this.
Action Coach, the help you need to grow your business. Guys, I just spent the best part of an hour with Rachel Watkin. She's an incredible person, and here's why you should have a listen to this podcast. If you ever feel like there's just a black ceiling, like there is no light at the end of the tunnel, listen to this podcast, because categorically there is, even when you think there isn't. Rachel has built a business, and what's more, she's survived cancer. She continued to build that business to over 10 million over the next 7 years. She's survived dragons. She's learned from dragons. She built an incredible team around her. Anyway, we're going to get going now. So, wow, very few businesses ever get to 1 million. You've got one and taken it and scaled it to 10 million.
Yeah.
So if you just think about the marketplace for a second, why do you think businesses don't get to 1 million, and dare I even say ever get to 10 million?
So that's a really interesting question, because I think so much of it is about starting with the right intention.
Right.
So when I do talks, I what's the word? I have an analogy that it's really like, are you setting up a home fire in your sitting room, or are you setting a Guy Fawkes bonfire night?
Because I like the analogy.
Because if you're planning to scale it up, then you need those systems and that employment mentality from day one. I mean, the biggest mistakes that I made was when I started Tinybox, I started with very low paid workers that didn't have the necessary skill set for scaling up. And then you end up in a lot of uncomfortable conversations where the roles have outgrown the individuals. Now, had I had that mindset to start with, to get the right people in place and have the systems in place, we would have scaled much faster.
Do you remember getting to your first million?
I do remember getting to my first million, yeah.
How long into your journey was that?
That was about 5 years.
Wow, so 5 years to get to your first million. And
Yeah.
how long did it take to get to 10 million from one?
So we got to 1 million in 2013, and then it took us till 2020.
Another
get to
7
10.
years to get
Yeah.
to 10 million.
Yeah.
So clearly you've attended to the right things, to get your business to scale to this. What kind of things have you been giving attention to?
Really interesting working with a new business partner and realising how my mind works. It's been great for self-awareness. I always focus on the core strategy that has the business biggest impact. So I don't get bogged down into the detail. I'm rubbish at the detail, rubbish at systems, rubbish at procedures. But the things that really matter, like where are we taking the business, what do we need to focus on? And I'm an ideas person. I'm always generating the next idea.
So what have been some of the core strategies been for the business?
Well, we focused on sustainability and ethics from day one. That hasn't changed. And when we focused on that in 2008, basically when we went live, the Dragons and Dragon's Den said it will never be mainstream. We'll always be fighting a little niche. How the tables have turned.
So tell us about Tinybox.
So Tinybox was born because I couldn't find any jewellery packaging. Simple as that. It was 2007. It was the start of Etsy, not on the high street. Yeah. There was a lot of sort of home crafters, huge shifts in the jewellery market. And yet the packaging, you had to order 12 weeks in advance, minimum of 1,000 units per size, per colour, and they would send you quotes in the post. My background was IT, where you've got SLAs of, 4 hours. Why is this quote taking me 10 days? And I'm sitting at the doorstep waiting for it. And I said, well, why can't you just order one box online? A bangle box is a bangle box. It's not going to change much in size. So I set up a website and focused on sustainability because there was no need for it to not be.
Did you have the fire then, because you found a problem in the world, basically? Yeah. There's a problem here. No one's fixed this and solved this yet. Did that turn into passion for you, or did the passion evolve over time, or is that it? I'm building this tiny box jewellery business.
I don't know where it comes from. I've got a steel rod inside me. Right. And if I get passionate about something, there's just no stopping me. And somehow that steel rod manages to override the imposter syndrome, the complete lack of confidence, everything else. And I'll have major wobbles and be like, what the hell am I doing? For example, when I started Tiny Box, I'd been running it about 3-4 months, and I went to a government organisation, I think it was Business Link or something like that helps you get investor ready. And I sat in the meeting with these 3 guys, and they just said to me, well, we don't think you've got USP. There's nothing unique about your business.
Is that like a standard response, do you think, when people do the first kind of pitches? No USP?
I think it could be. And I sort of said in the meeting, well, what do I need to pivot? What do I need to change in order to have a USP? And the lead guy sat back, folded his arms and said, well, if I knew that, I'd be in business and not here advising you. So I had some pretty hard knocks on the way.
How many pitches? I mean, that first pitch, do you remember going to do that first pitch to those 3?
Yeah.
What were you thinking before you went in?
I was quite quietly confident that I'd found a niche in the market, because being naturally risk averse, I'm not a risk taker. I literally spent 6 months in the British Library doing research after research on the gift market, the packaging market, the jewellery sector. So I could see that it wasn't just me that had this issue. So yes, I was quietly confident, and then I came out of there completely ripped to shreds.
Did that pitch turn into a second pitch somewhere else?
No. When
was your next pitch?
The Dragons.
Oh, we're coming back to that in a second. All right.
There's no half measures with me,
Well, but
go straight to the top.
Do you believe there's a steel rod inside everyone?
This episode is sponsored by Constant Contact. Constant Contact is a powerful yet easy-to-use marketing platform designed for small business. Leverage automation and AI to expand your contact list, build relationships, and drive business with email, social media, event marketing, and more. Now back to the podcast.
Probably a different steel rod.
Right.
So I believe that we all do have some kind of purpose, whatever that purpose is.
Right.
And the purpose might be to raise your children to the best of your ability. So if you asked women who feel that's their purpose, do you have a steel rod for that? They say, absolutely yes, I'll put my children before anything else. So yes, I do believe that, but I don't believe that it's necessarily for business or entrepreneurship for everybody.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. I think what I heard there was find purpose in whatever it is that you're doing in your situation.
Yeah, and I think that one of the key things that I've learned is, especially for women that do suffer from confidence issues, imposter syndrome, is to focus on something that's bigger than you. Because if you're then taking your focus away from you and onto something else, it makes your negative emotions, it gives them less weight.
It's such a blinding flash of the obvious that, to take the introspection there and just look at the lens. Yeah. Sometimes I do keynote speeches, and I always say to myself before I go on stage, James, literally 10 seconds before I go on stage, when you go all the butterflies and all this kind of thing, I say, James, it's not about you. It's all about the audience. I just focus on them.
Yeah.
And then get much better connection, etc. So you say focus on the bigger picture.
Focus on helping, whatever that help is. whatever the audience is. Because if you're not helping people in some way, then you don't have a business model anyway.
Are you a servant leader?
I am a servant leader. Steve and I, my husband, used to joke that we are the waiters. We are there to facilitate everybody else to do the job to the best of their abilities.
Okay, Dragon's Den.
Yes.
I'm just going to say one name first, just Duncan Bannatyne.
My best friend.
True or not true?
Oh, we're bezies.
You're bezies, yeah. So Duncan Bannatyne. What was it like going into Dragon's Den? Do you remember going up the lift and...
There is no lift.
Yeah, well, you at least give us some suspense.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And how did it go?
Do you know what? Because I had no expectations. I mean, we'd been trading for 6 months. We had nothing patentable, no trading history. I didn't know the first thing about packaging because my background was IT and accounting. So I thought we had less than no chance. So all I wanted to do was make it the best advertising pitch.
Yeah. That
if we were lucky enough to get 2 minutes airtime, let's just focus on trying to do the best job we can do on the business. So I kind of went in knowing it was a bit of a game and with no expectations. So therefore, I wasn't worried.
There's something to be said for that, isn't there? I hear that athletes that are turning up at the Olympic Games, and I worked in sport in a former life, and one of them, Matthew, said he was a table tennis player. He says his biggest success came when he said just before he went out to compete, and this is before he won a world medal, he was like, sod it, I don't care what happens. And that just sort of took the pressure off and allowed him to perform. You kind of had a little bit of that, but you knew look, let's get a 2-minute marketing pitch here. Let's get people to know about us. Yeah.
My business partner, obviously being a broadcaster, had spent quite a bit of time trying to prime me beforehand. And was like, it's really important you don't show any nerves, Rachel, because it will show in your voice and everything else. Yes, Christian. Yes, I've got this. And we get in there, and the first picture you see, the camera pans onto me just looking at him like that, wondering what's wrong with him because he's going...
And then what unfolded next?
We got absolutely slaughtered, hammered. Duncan Bannatyne said that his 9-year-old daughter or 7-year-old daughter could make a better product, but that was after he'd picked at it for 2 hours. He literally sat there picking the paper off and then said, my daughter could do a better job.
2 hours?
Yeah, you're in the den for 2.5 hours. Or we were.
Wow. And
then it's condensed down to 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What impact would you say the den had on the business?
So after the den, it's just a verbal on the TV show, and then they do their due diligence. So we had a meeting with them a couple of months later, and there was about 12 of them, pricing strategists, brand analysts, God knows what, and then there's little me sitting there, completely overwhelmed by them all. And they kind of picked the business to pieces, and at the end of the meeting, it was Theo's right-hand man that said, do you know what, we're just going to forward you the money and leave you to run the business. And it was just not what I was expecting. I was expecting the black book and the mentoring and everything else. But they had the confidence in me that I didn't have.
And then we know the Tiny Box Company, I've already said you've built it to over 10 million. But through that journey, how long have you had the Tiny Box Company now then?
We started trading right at the end of 2007, so really 2008.
Right, so 17 years.
Yeah.
And over that time then, you've also had some health challenges of your own.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Yeah. And I mean, lots of the listeners, it's very common, is cancer as well. So
yeah.
You've been through that a few times.
Yeah, so I think my first really rocky period. So in 2000, I had an appendix operation that went horribly wrong, and I got put into the ME bucket or chronic fatigue syndrome bucket, and it took me years to recover. It took me 4 years before I could get a part-time job, before I was well enough.
Because you were that tired at the smallest thing?
I couldn't get out of bed. For the first 9 months, I couldn't walk further than the bathroom.
If there's listeners right now listening, by the way, that either themselves or the family members have got chronic fatigue syndrome. Is there any advice or words that you want to say to them?
I would say, I mean, it's changing now, but the amount of times I was told it was in my head and that I had like a psychiatric disorder or whatever, I would say to any listeners, do not allow yourself to be told that utter shite. It's just not true. There is obviously a medical reason for it. Now, my guess is, from having talked to a lot of people, there's multiple medical reasons, which is why they can't find a cure, because it's different things causing different things. Yeah. But yeah, don't accept being fobbed off, because I accepted being fobbed off for years. And
in some ways, did you self-sabotage at the same time? Were you blaming yourself and going into yourself? It must be me.
Yeah. And when you've got family and friends as well saying, pull yourself together, there's nothing wrong with you, the doctors have told you you're fine, it is incredibly hard. And I would say, without doubt, that was my low point in life. Not the cancer, which came much later. Cancer.
Why was that lower than cancer?
Because I had no hope. When you've got no hope, you've got everything stripped away from you. And I had no hope that I was ever going to get better or that I was ever going to be out of bed again. When you're lying in bed, as I said, 4 years, pretty much off and on, never...
All day?
All day, every day, not knowing whether you will ever be able to change the situation. I mean, I lost everything. I lost my house, I lost my job, I lost my partner, my car, and I ended up living back with the parents. And before that, I'd been really successful. So, yeah, that was without doubt the hardest time.
Look, I'm getting emotional about it as you're saying it, because, you know, then later on you were diagnosed with cancer as well.
Yeah. So I had the chronic fatigue from 2000 to 2004. By the time I went on Dragon's Den, I wasn't well enough to work full time, but I never highlighted my health issues and thought I'd just power through it, which I did. 2009, 2010, it caught up with me, and I got really quite ill again. But so I was doing quotes and print quotes and everything from my bed, and then had people in the office that would process them. I don't think I've ever told that publicly before. Literally 3 or 4 months in both year 2009, 2010, I operated the entire business from my bed. And I was lucky enough to have a team at the office that could pick up where I wasn't there.
What kept you going? What made you do it?
That steel rod. I'm not going to lie, I had quite a few meltdowns, and that's probably where I got closer to my dad, because I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this.
When you said I can't do it, do you mean I can't do it alone? I need someone.
No, I can't carry on running a business, the stress of it, when I can't even get out of bed. Yeah, it was hard. But, yeah, I've got to say that my dad was quite supportive through there. A bit of a turnaround from the childhood.
But you know, I mean, we already know, we've already listened to the first part of this, and we know the resounding success story. This 10 million, very, very few businesses ever get to that point. Yours has. And you've just told us that for 3 to 4 months, you were operating...
In 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were operating the business from your bed.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? I've never confessed that.
How do you feel now you've confessed it?
I look back now, because again, I saw it as a failure of me. I didn't see it as a medical thing. I saw it was, well, they're still telling me there's nothing wrong with me. Now I know that there is, but it must be me. So it's like a guilty secret. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like a guilty secret you can't tell anyone.
What, that you think the problem's you?
That you have to do this, that you're not well enough, but actually nobody can tell you what's wrong with you.
I strongly suspect that a lot of the listeners, that it's resonating, by the way. You know, because there, again, you know, like I said with the chronic fatigue, is there any words of wisdom, advice, encouragement that you can give the listeners right now, should they feel like what you felt back then?
get as much help as you can and don't get fobbed off. It's so easy to get fobbed off. But one of the things I've learned recently, because I still suffer from it, but I've got it much better managed.
You've got a steel rod, you see.
I've got a steel rod.
I just feel like I want to just reinforce that for a second. Just believe, guys, that you've got a steel rod. Look, you've been through all of this. I mean, certainly humble beginnings. You've then developed your career. You then had chronic fatigue. You went to an all-time low. You were like, there is no hope for me.
Yeah.
There was literally a black ceiling. You could not see anything. You came out of that. You started the business. You even ran it from your bed for 3 to 4 months for a few years.
That's insane, isn't it?
Then the cancers come along. But we know in all of that, you've maintained leadership. Your business has grown to a 10 million plus business in that time. You must have an incredible team.
I have a great team. Last year, I stepped back. A young lady, Vicky, who is Steve's daughter, joined our business 10 years ago in the warehouse. She was a single mum and had worked at Greggs, was feeling like pretty much a no-hoper, had been told all of her life that at school you would never amount to anything. Last year I stepped back and she is now running the business. And she's doing a phenomenal job. And it just proves to me that your background, who you think you are, doesn't need to define you. And she has very different skills to me. She's a great people person, and she's far more structured than me. Whereas I'm sort of like, I've had an idea, we could do this, we could do that, and I'm all over the place. She's far more methodical, if you like. We've got a great head of marketing that's just come back, where she had the nerve to leave us.
It does happen that, though, doesn't it? Occasionally, some people leave and then they come back.
Yeah.
And why did she come back?
Because I asked her to.
All right, so you plucked up the courage to go back and ask. Did it take any courage to ask her or not?
Do you know what? She said we'd been very unlucky with our CMO. The last couple of years has been disastrous. The last one particularly disastrous. And she said, if you need any help in the interim. And I was like, well, actually...
Yeah, we do. We want you back.
We don't want just interim help. Can you come back? So, yeah.
So but you got the CMO back. The dream team's back.
The dream team is back, yeah. And it means that I've stepped away because I'm working on a new project.
Big ideas. Well, you are the ideas person.
Yeah.
It's never going to stop that, is it?
No.
So are there any other words of encouragement for people that are on this journey? Because you're still on the journey, but you've got a business that's over here working without you. It's scaled up to 10 million over those 17 years. You've got more ideas on other projects. But a lot of the listeners, they want to scale their business up to 10 million. Any bits of advice along the way if the world's dealing them challenges like they've dealt you?
I am a great believer in visualization and manifestation. So I meditate nearly every day and I really focus on what outcome I want. Because I run a lot of free clinics for women in business in particular. It's like a doctor's surgery, so you can book an appointment if you're struggling. And the most common situation is, I don't know where to go with my business. Okay, well, where do you want to go? Oh, I don't know. No one's asked me that. Okay, well, how can I tell you? It's like Alice in Wonderland. How can I tell you where to go if you don't know where you want to be? So I have a vision board at home. And it's having a really clear picture of what you want out of it. And I can't remember who it was. It was one of the current mindset people. I think it might have been Vishen Lakhiani, who said, focus on the experiences you want in life. So rather than I want a business, focus on the experiences. So, Is it the experience of having 100 employees? Is it the experience of a nice house? Is it the experience of satisfying a need? And if you focus on that and then look at, okay, well, what skill gaps do I have in order to achieve those experiences that I want? And then what can I give back to society? It's like 3 separate columns of your vision.
I love it. Great recommendations for the listeners on manifestation and focusing on the experiences. Got a few simple questions to wrap up with.
Sure.
How do you define success?
Success is achieving whatever matters to you. I don't think that anybody can tell you what success is. It really winds me up where people measure success according to wealth.
Yes.
I have a sister who has a special needs daughter who is hugely demanding. To me, she's successful because she keeps the patient, she keeps the roof over their heads, she provides love and caring. That's success.
Yeah. What's been the hardest lesson that you've had to learn in business?
Dishonesty.
Dishonesty.
Yeah.
When did that lesson happen?
It's happening continuously.
What, people being dishonest to you?
Yeah. And I am so naive. I never see it. I always trust people. Why would people lie? It never ceases to amaze me. An employee has left recently. Obviously, I can't give any details. Yeah. The lies, just staggering. And I believed it all.
Yep. It's a hard lesson to learn. When are you going to learn it?
I don't think I am. There's no hope.
What's the biggest myth about getting your business to $1 million?
The biggest myth, without doubt, is listening to experts when a lot of the time they're not experts at all, and that you can't do it because everybody knows more than you.
Is it the same myth for getting to 10 million?
Yeah. The amount of experts I've hired that I think know way more than me, and the acronyms and jargon that's applied, whereas I'm the one that will sit in the meeting and go, I'm sorry, I have not a clue what you're talking about. Most people aren't brave enough to do that because they don't want to appear stupid. And if you strip everything back to basics, it's no different to running a house, and making sure that your bills are paid on time and that you've got food on the table and listening to customers.
And have a good CMO.
And have a good CMO. That helps, yeah.
It certainly does. What's the most beautiful thing in this world?
That's going to sound ridiculous, but I'm going to say it. My husband.
I've seen him. It's true. It's true.
I don't mean, obviously he's attractive, but it's love and compassion and people supporting other people. I don't know what it is about this country where we want to put people down all the time and, what are you doing that for kind of thing. We should be supporting each other. We should be lifting each other. And I think that I have been so lucky, the beauty that has surrounded me of people helping to lift me.
Yeah, what a beautiful comment. And Steve's watching us from a different room right now as well, so he's feeling it. Rachel, what was your favourite bit?
I think probably admitting out loud for the first time ever how I ran my business over that 2-year period. If the dragons found out.
But you know what? The truth wins, doesn't it? Because that might be a reality for a lot more people. It's not all of this fame, fortune, success, all of the glamorous results that people see. It might be 3 to 4 months behind the scenes. People just don't know that's happening.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. People can relate to that.
And I think the other thing with my sister, going back to health, and people say, well, I can't afford a scan or whatever. Well, you can, because if you don't have it and you're not going to be here, the money's irrelevant. So I think it's prioritising that wealth into areas that is going to support you on your journey.
Rachel Watkins, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.